Now, back to how the Health District and its various governmental agency partners can affect change and get results.
If you look at it as the whole regulation on apartments as being a large pie, the Health District has their section of things we can address. City of Las Vegas has theirs, North Las Vegas has theirs, and county has theirs. And sometimes they overlap, sometimes they don't. For instance, I'm not qualified to do inspections on electrical. I can look at a problem and say, you know, that doesn't seem right, but I'm really not the person to look at it, but I do know who to call.
For example, let's say that someone calls in and says that they have a mold issue. And if it's just strictly a mold issue, then we'll refer it to the Health District and let them take it. But if it's more than a mold issue, we'll send someone out to look at all the areas, and then we'll retain the portions that apply to us and refer the portions that don't. We are most interested in life safety issues. We want to know that the people are safe within their dwelling units and able to get out. So we're looking at the egress. We're definitely interested if they're having electrical problems. If they smell gas, of course they need to call Southwest Gas, but we're also interested in that, and just issues that they feel unsafe.
We can use all the other jurisdictions at our disposal. The health department, for example, if I have an infestation of bed bugs and roaches, if we don't have air conditioning working and it's an elderly citizen and we know that they've got a regulation that says that they got to maintain that house to a maximum of 80 degrees in that unit, we'll use those to help us. A lot of the codes that I don't have, other departments do, and so if we combine those, it'll help the citizen.
Shadrick has spent 14 years handling some of the city's most deplorable housing conditions, and he recently let us ride with him on 2 of them. Here, he was called to the home of a 93-year-old man.
When people don't have a job and they're poor and they're on entitlements and that's all they get, like typically I see a lot of people that only get like $512 a month in Social Security. Hey, they're at the bottom already. There's no place else to go. So when they're saying that the landlord won't help them, they're having trouble paying their rent and getting groceries in addition to that, they don't have any money for maintenance. You know, they would love to, and they don't want to lose their place. And by the way, they're oftentimes confused. They're also afraid, and they may have been threatened by that landlord and say, hey, if you call the city, we're going to evict you. And we try to allay their fears that under state law, NRS 118A, if they do that, that's a violation of the NRS statutes. That's called retaliation. So we explain all this to them. And if they need legal advice, we'll get them that. We can send them to the Nevada Legal Services or the Justum Center for a civil matter for remediation and arbitration. And there's just a whole gamut of things we can do to help these poor people. That's why I say we like to help them, and we will.
Here, Metro got the ball rolling on the cleanup as a way of combating crime.
If I didn't have the backing of the mayor and the city council, my job would be impossible to do. So I have their complete backing on what we do. They encourage it. They give us a hotline that people can call into. They give us all the tools that we need, all the training that we need. We don't, in this economy, we don't get the number of people we'd like, but hey, we'll make do with what we've got. Because even in the valley, if you take that as an overall picture, there's not a lot of appetite to help these people. Why it is, I don't know. And again, if you don't have the tools and if you don't have the backing of the politicians, it isn't going to work.
The various agencies, including the Health District, have found a way to address some of the worst rental abuses by joining together, focusing enough trained eyes on the problem to affect a positive outcome for the residents.
The type of activity you're referring to is called a CMART. It stands for County Multi-Agency Response Team. And action can be initiated by any of the agencies. For instance, if Metro is having a lot of calls for service out of one particular apartment complex, and they're seeing, as they go out and respond to these, they're seeing problems with water, they're seeing sewage, they're seeing structural problems, they decide they want something done. So what they would do is once a month we have a meeting with all of the agencies get together, and they say, okay, what problems are we having? Metro would present their case on this particular complex. Everyone would look at it, we would go back, we would consult our files, are we also having problems, what issues can we address? And we'll set a time and date, and on that date and time, every single agency will go out to that property and do a full inspection on it. It has been very successful.
Common sense, pooling jurisdictions, and a real desire to make a difference is helping now. But going ahead, the Health District will soon have more authority to change things faster.
There are some new regulations that were just passed. and they give the health district authority to write regulations regarding apartments or any other area we really want to address. So substandard housing will be a big part of that. However, I don't know when those regulations will be completed, and I don't know what they're going to entail at this time. I imagine that will make things a whole lot faster and a lot better. Because here we'll have regulations that specifically address all of the areas right now that are difficult for us to maintain enforcement on, give us very set penalties and a process for getting them taken care of quickly. And it's not that we don't care, it's just sometimes these things take a while to work their way through.
In the meantime, if you have tenant concerns related to unsafe housing, reach out to one of the resources listed here. As you've seen, they'll help guide you to an agency that can help.